Hi guys, Christian here and welcome to my channel. This is going to be a reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising for the week of December 6th through 12th. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. And if you're new here, welcome. Go ahead and click on that red subscribe button. That way, when I post new content, it'll be in your feed on YouTube. And if anyone wants to receive notifications after I post content to my channel, click on that bell icon once you're subscribed down below. That way, YouTube will give you notifications when I do that, okay? Now, I don't like to be the person to say, like my stuff, comment on my stuff, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, but there is an algorithm here on YouTube, and in order for my content to be seen by other cancers that may need this message, it takes interaction from you guys. So I appreciate all that you've done so far, giving me the likes on the videos, even watching them. If you guys have been commenting down below, it's greatly appreciated. Let me know if it resonates, and that way other cancers can find these messages as well, okay? Now keep in mind that all readers can't possibly fit for every single cancer, so we're going to take what resonates and leave behind what does not. Also, I'm going to be doing a pick a deck reading if you guys wanted more, to add on, to build on to this. And you also can check out the other pick a card readings that I have on my page as well. So hold you over in the meantime. Now, if you're a subscriber that's always with me, if you're coming back, you may notice that I have a little bit of a different setup. I'm back doing my regular work, which I travel for, so I didn't want to leave you guys without a reading, so I brought my cards along, but the visual is not aesthetically pleasing as my desk with my crystals and all of that, but we're still going to make it work, okay? Today we're going to be using the Light Seers Tarot, which is one of my favorite decks here. Keep in mind that I don't read reversals, so if you see me turn a card over, don't think that I'm just being crazy. If any of the reverse qualities come out for that card, I would definitely make sure that I mention them in the reading. But for me, for my eyes, they just speak to me when they're upright, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and give a shuffle for you guys for the week of December 6th through 12th, okay? And I don't know, the word that's coming to mind as I'm shuffling cards is effort, is drive. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw the Chariot or something like that come out in your reading, but we'll see here. Feeling like a lot of you guys are feeling empowered, or you're feeling like you're getting the wind back in yourself finally, for some of you. So you can go in a lot of different ways. Maybe this is giving you the strength to be able to say things that you that you've been putting off, or do things that you've been putting off, or go after something new, go after a new relationship, maybe a new idea, new dream, or maybe move your life in a new direction. But we'll see as this kind of pans out here. All right, what was that I was seeing? I thought I was seeing the Ace of Cups at the bottom, so gotta cut these in 3. Let's see here. The best messages for Cancer. What things would Cancer need to know from the time period of December 6th through 12th? Okay, let's see here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pull 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. And then, as usual, we're going to take a look at the bottom of the deck, which is going to be the overarching theme of energy at this time. I like to tell you guys that it can go beyond the point of just this week. It can be a lesson that we're learning that's taking more time. It could be months. It could be years. Just depends on your situation. So we'll take a look and see what's at the bottom of the deck here. So here we have the King of Swords, and this is giving me very, very that energy that I was talking about, going after something very organized. This is more of the planning side of something. So kind of going with that vibe of me saying that I'm feeling like someone is kind of on top of something. You're driven. You're moving towards a goal. The King of Swords is a very focused energy, and you're using your wisdom here with the owl that I'm seeing here. I love the King of Swords in this particular deck because he's learning how to step back from situations and to take a bigger look here. So we have the King of Swords kind of sitting up high on this mountain, and here, from this perspective, from this mountaintop, he's able to see a lot more of the opportunities that he has. He's open to different perspectives. He's quieting the mind. Up here, there's not a lot of noise here. Usually here in these cards for this particular deck, when we see these crows on the cards that or sword cards like his, they're usually pestering someone, like, because sometimes it's very, very hard to silence the mind to really hear what's being presented to you, or to really see what things are being presented to you. But here, this crow is not disturbing him in his moment. You've made peace with whatever that noise may be for you. This is just clear communication. So for those of you who's communicating something, the King of Swords is definitely being very, very straightforward. He's also speaking with precision. And that was one of the words I was going to say right before I pulled out the cards. After we talked about being driven, I was going to say details. He's really, really paying attention to the details. And I see someone kind of playing like with puzzle pieces in their lives where you're like, what if this will work? Or like, if someone's doing their hair, they're like, should I do it this way? Then they say, okay, how about let me try it like this? Or when you're trying, I know for me, when I'm trying on clothes, it's like, will this work? Okay, switch this out. Okay, will this work? But you're paying that much attention to it. And one thing I can say for me, if I'm using examples of clothing, which I'm just using it as a metaphor, people always ask, well, oh, wow, I really like your outfit. You really must, make it, it may look very effortless to other people, but for every time someone says that one compliment, it's taking me like an hour of playing around just to like get the feel of things right, which is kind of like the feeling that I'm getting here. You're looking at all the options and the pathways that your choices can make, your decisions will make. You're like, if I go here, then this will happen. It's like you may be looking at the cause and effect, but you're not just stopping at just going, seeing only X amount of where a decision may take you is not fulfilling anymore. You're making long-term goals and long-term plans, and you're thinking about the consequences of your actions and the moves you make in the now for the long term. So this could be something that you could see coming up around this time. Also, too, I just want to point here that you're protected from a lot here because of your knowledge. The King of Swords can see right through people, and he can see down to people's their motivations and their intentions. Also, too, the King of Swords, there could be a powerful air sign around you, or someone with these qualities here coming in, which could be Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra here with the King of Swords. They may be assisting you or helping you, but if not, these are just the qualities that you're stepping into, where you're able to hold diplomatic conversation with others. That's kind of like the Aquarius side. The Libra side. You're able to communicate and to think on your toes and to be flexible. That's kind of where the Gemini comes in here. In Aquarius, you're able to see yourself independently and how your independent choices kind of affect the whole, which is him sitting up high on this mountain looking down. So definitely in this place of planning, this is a good time to try to set some plans in motion, or at least see plans. Like I was telling people, and which I'll start probably doing here soon, putting these things on YouTube, these videos about transitioning from one season to the next. As we're in Sagittarius season right now, it's a very big picture energy. And I love it because, he's seeing, in Sagittarius season, which we're in now, even though you guys are Cancer, we're looking up, we're sitting from this perspective, and we're seeing from the soul's perspective, ourselves and what changes we can make in our lives, what area we can grow in. And here we have the Seven of Swords. So I think a lot of the things that we're seeing where for one thing I'm getting really for sure here is red flags here with this crow right here. But you see what I'm saying about the crows? They're all kind of making noise. But I see where people have taken advantage of you, but also where you've taken advantage of yourself. These things are being highlighted as you can see it. You can see where people are. And I kind of just got a feeling like I said, this is this energy of letting someone hang themselves, like tie their, giving people enough rope to incriminate themselves when, I've been working on that with you guys, not working on it with you guys specifically, but more so of the sake of, I've always kind of felt like when you guys call out things intuitively, maybe ahead of time, maybe sometimes it comes back to bite you in the butt because there isn't enough evidence. There isn't enough visual. Well, the King of Swords is gonna uphold the law. So this is where I think what we can be mastering here is, yes, intuitively I feel this. It doesn't make any sense to, but it hasn't made sense yet. And this is where I feel like with the King of Swords, we're kind of starting to see that you don't have to choose between making it make sense and ignoring your intuitive nudges or what you're feeling about a situation, but you don't have to fully go on your feeling without the knowledge either. Here, this is where we've conquered. Okay, I'm usually 9 times out of 10 my gut is going to tell me right, but this is where you're sitting up high enough to be able to see, let me see it play out, because I'm safe enough, I'm regarded, no one can touch me in the space and the energy that I'm in because I'm in full control. Let me watch how this plays out, and let me see what direction this person goes in. And this way, when you see, like, let's just say you're sitting here on a mountain, right? And then there's a thief that comes into the village. You can see that from up here on this mountain. And they have this certain escape route that they always get out of, right? Well, instead of trying to stop every thief, because that would take so much effort, right, out of you, what you're doing is you're saying, hey, we're going to put security along this pathway because I can see from up here where they're getting away with something there. So this is kind of where you're letting intellect meet with these things that are, I'm looking at this like, is this the moon? Yeah, it does look like the moon, which is your intuitive side. You're letting those two things meet up, and from that, you're being able to make plans for the future that are a little bit more solid than, maybe what they used to be here. You see here with the six of cups, we're kind of growing up just a little bit. We're maturing in the way that we respond to things and in the way that we look at things. This is what I was kind of talking about with this wisdom now. You're a lot wiser. So I think that you're definitely tapping into your air energy now, which, like I said, is more of your brain, more of your cerebral, when we could be used to kind of leaning on our gut, right? Neither is good. To just completely lean on mind, you'll miss out on intuitive things, and to completely lean on intuition, sometimes, those things have no proof. And in the real world, sometimes, unfortunately, we need more than just a feeling, right? For other people's sake, or to implement plans that can prevent things from happening in the future, not for ourselves. Of course, that can be your guiding light. You don't never have to deny that part of yourself, but this is to let things play out a little bit, which here with the Seven of Pentacles, this is once again a card of waiting, but also to letting things play out, letting things build up, letting things manifest themselves enough to where when you call out something, or when you say something, or when you move in a direction, it's for sure. It's not taking a chance. It's not so much of the gamble anymore, okay? And I kind of see here, yeah, this is making, when you make judgment calls, I think that you're sitting in a higher perspective to be able to make them, but also too, with the judgment card here, this is where we're no longer look like here. This is where we take the blame away from the thief, and then we're saying, you know what? If I was a thief, I would go that way too, because it's easy to be able to move through that route. Then that way you say, you know what? Instead of, saying we have to go after every thief, we're just going to foolproof ourselves and protect ourselves by being able to build, to close off the ways that a person could sneak away. So that's kind of what I'm kind of seeing here with those cards. Let's see how this kind of plays out with these down here. And I'll put this up here for the lack of space that we have. So then you have here the Lovers card. So this is about relationships. Definitely it can be romantic, but more so the Lovers card is also another card. It's a card of Gemini. I believe that this is a card of it's a card of communication. We're talking about how we communicate with the world, but also too the relationship between you and your higher self, which here is once again we're talking about this relationship between you and your higher self. Even in the six of cups here, I kind of just get this feeling of, this version of yourself that's wiser, communicating with the version of yourself that's actually active in your life now. You always have access to this kind of infinite wisdom, but also too, this is talking about our choices and the choices that we make, and being empowered by the decisions that we make. The Lovers card traditionally was the choices card. So also too, like if you guys are single or if you're in relationships, this is where you're looking at patterns where you're not saying, oh, this ex did this to me, oh, this person did this to me, the person I'm dating is doing this to me. This is where you're looking to say, this is how I allowed this to happen. This is what I'm going to do to prevent this from happening in the future, which, going back to the Judgment card, is where we stop. I always call the Judgment card the card where we stop, where everyone, we're like, if like everyone in the play, at the end of the play, the villain, the hero, they all come out and they take a bow together, because at the end of the day, they were just playing roles, just, to convey a message, right? So this is where you're starting to step into that stage where you're seeing in your relationships here with the Lovers card that a lot of these people were just playing these roles to help you and teach you how to better protect yourself, how to have you sitting up to this point. You don't get to be in the King of Swords state by just lollygagging. This is a lot of work it took you to get to this understanding of life and this perspective to where you can look outside of yourself and you don't have to be right up on things to see things. It's that image of Sagittarius here. Even though this is an air sign card, where I just feel like your beliefs are changing, your beliefs about yourself. And it's not that you're excusing or blaming anyone else. It's putting you in a space to where you think a little bit more selfishly, and selfishly in a good way. Selfishly, like, okay, what choices are going to put me in alignment with people who are a match for me, especially if it's a partnership with partners who are matches for me, like with friends who are a match for me, with jobs that are a perfect match for me. This is also to where you're taking in what your qualities are. I think because if you're sitting up high in this King of Swords state, you spend so much time with yourself that you have a knowing of yourself. And that's always important for a relationship. You have to know what you're bringing. I was just telling someone that the other day, it's impossible. Everyone wants to be a power couple. Let's be a power couple. You can't be, there cannot be a power couple if no one knows their power, or if one person knows their power. And you can't, how can I say this? You do a better job of trying to of putting yourself empowering yourself than you can without being empowered, trying to make someone else stand up in their power or make them be empowered before you do it. It doesn't work like I'll get there, I'll help make the other person then get there, then I'll get ready. It's when you put in the effort for yourself. That's when you line up and you meet a person that's vibrationally a person that put effort in on themselves, right? The as a where you are is what you'll attract in. And this is not just in romantic relationships. This is just in life in total, because even if you're in a relationship that's already established, this is where, we may have expectations for our partner, our relationship, but we have to turn those expectations on ourselves and lead by example. And when you start to embody the qualities that you're looking for, either one or two things is going to happen. It's going to energetically push the person away, or make that person get on their P's and Q's and make them do it. Either way, you're choosing not to prioritize whether that person, if you're going to do the work for yourself or make changes for yourself on the other person, you're just doing it. And if it takes a person out of your path, a friend out of your path, a love out of your path, a relationship out of your path, then specifically that it's clearing the way to find something that's a little bit more cohesive and more of a match for you with the Lovers card here, okay? Next, we have the Eight of Swords. So once again, talking about this thing of release. And remember, I was talking about how those birds are usually in this place to pester you. You had it 2 times here with the 7. You have the 7 of Swords here. It's also where we feel like people have taken away from us, like we're getting the short end of the stick, where people are like always getting over on us here. And then, I'm just going to be honest with you. This 8 of Swords mentality is like, poor me. It's where it's like where we kind of feel victimized. We feel like we can't move. We feel like we don't have any control over anything. And remember what I was saying earlier. This is talking about effort. The words that I had earlier were effort and drive. Because maybe some of you have been sitting in this 8 of Swords state. But here, what you're seeing here from the King of Swords is like everything that I thought tied me back from from getting to the place that, that I want, from finding the love that I want, the relationships that I want. All of those things are just in my mind. Up here, you're able to see so clearly. So this could be where some of you have taken a break from someone. You're taking a break from something. You pulled yourself away from something. And in that space, you're seeing things from this you're seeing things from a higher, oh, there it is. So I didn't even see the next card, but I knew it would be here. So you're seeing things from this higher perspective, and it's releasing you to this new state of being, this new state of life. And I feel like it's where that feeling of keeping your eyes on your own paper. When this person's eyes are closed, then it's like they're released from all of these things that tied them back. All of the limitations that they thought they had in love were just a figment of, of the brain, of just thinking that these things are possible. But it takes being able to, you have to make plans. You have to analyze situations, not just from an intuitive state, but also to look at things. And this takes a lot of self-reflection. Look, in the mirror here, it takes a lot of self-reflection because, if you're making decisions on, it's not, this is where, when people say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you feel. It's how you go about acting on what you feel that may be yielding the results that you're getting in. And not because you're not right, not because you shouldn't kick certain people to the curb when they're treating you like crap. Not that you shouldn't remove yourself from situations when you feel like you need to leave. This is not the reading that's telling you that. But what it's saying is that when you trust in yourself, when you have a security in yourself that no one can kind of knock you off of your game, that no one can take anything from you, it puts you in a space to where you can watch things play out a little bit more, and then you can learn how to spot whatever it is that you're seeing, because it's almost like you gave a person enough room to be able to hang themselves, right? Like you studied their patterns enough to be able to say, okay, you're going to go this way, you're going to move 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 this way. I've already seen this play out and I watched it all the way through, instead of the first step, boom. Like I always tell friends this, like I always say, if a person, and I used to do this, but I would never deal with cheating again, of course. But let's just say you're in a relationship and someone is, you assume that someone is cheating, right? And, you really don't have the proof. You just have the gut feeling, right? And then you walk in the house and then you just say, I know you're texting someone in your phone, right? Well, that person could have very well been texting someone in their phone, but now that you've told them that, they're going to be on alert to not let you see anything else, to do with that situation. So now you won't instead of you just sitting back saying, I have a hunch that this person is doing this to me. I'm gonna watch them. And I'm gonna get enough, like a lawyer here, like the courts. They're gonna get enough to be able to build a case before they say anything. That way the case can't be thrown out by just, subjectal, like, oh, I think that you were doing this. And this is what gets the better of you sometimes. I'm not saying this is your exact situation, Cancer, but sometimes what gets the better of you is, yes, you're right in a hunch, but you say it so quickly that you never can actually let the people build up enough to be able to form a good enough case to where you can say absolutely not. It leaves this wiggle room to where you kind of end up staying in things, maybe staying in situations and things maybe longer than you should, because you really didn't have the proof. So now you're sitting here with a situation where you're kind of like, I kind of feel bad about this person, but they kind of didn't really do anything, which makes it tough for you to come in on just a regular day and say, you know what, I don't feel right about this, I'm leaving, right? Because the person can say, oh, no, I wasn't texting them, this was such and such, or oh, no, I wasn't doing this is what I was doing, and make an excuse rather than you letting it be doesn't mean sit in it. I'm not telling anyone to sit in abuse. I'm not telling anyone to sit in any situation that they feel, of course, like, that they feel like they shouldn't be in. But what I'm saying is watch yourself. You're in a state and an energy where you can watch yourself without it taking you down too low. Like watch the motivations and perspectives of other people, and watch how they move, because there could be some knowledge that is in that helps you to kind of notice patterns a little bit sooner and gracefully take yourself out. Where, like, if you know that a person in dating, if a person is late for dates, so like, for example, for me, this is the understanding I'm starting to come into. I know, don't judge me, guys, because a person is late for dates consistently, or late with responding consistently. Let me say, I'll instead of me getting upset later on down the line or saying, you're doing this on this, I'll say, you know what, I'm just gonna, let's just take a step back and I'll do this, and, we'll hook, or you might notice that maybe my texting slows down, not because, or maybe I stop, accepting the invitations to dates, and I don't have to go out with, you're doing this, you didn't show up, you're not da-da-da. I don't have to do it that way. I can smoothly take myself out. And the next time, now I know that when someone is doing that. But when someone has that behavior, you know, I kind of know, I kind of already know the trajectory, and I don't have to use as much energy to take it out. I can easily remove myself, you know, way ahead of time, because I know the patterns. And I'm not, even if it's the same, even if I'm acting and making the same decisions, it's not from the same place. This is coming from where the heart is meeting with the mind. Okay, so that's here. And also the next card, which I knew, remember, I knew this would come out. I was saying that earlier, and I'm just now seeing it, but heart and mind, you see, we're moving in a balanced state here, and that's how you get more control in your life, because we're not leaning too forward on another one. But this is that driven energy that I was talking about. So I knew the Chariot would make its way at some point here. Last but not least here, what do we have? So we have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords, perfect for you to have the Page of Swords here, because the Page of Swords is taking down these notes, okay? She's studying people. She's studying people's motives. She's wanting to understand why people do the things that they do. And she's able to walk delicately across, or to maneuver delicately across things, because of how much information or how much knowledge she's getting. So once again, an air card, you have 1 air card, 2 air cards, 3 air cards here to me. Well, actually 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. So you have 5 like air energies here. So you see what I'm saying? This is more saying that there's like, that we need to kind of focus on our thoughts, our thought process. This message, if in all, I would say, if it were to say anything, it were to say that you're in a perspective to where you can learn from your own mistakes. You can learn from what you're seeing in front of you. Don't be so quick to write it off or to judge what you're going through, even if it is the right thing for you. This is saying play around with life a little bit. Trust that you're safe enough to be able to watch something play out, because there's going to be insight that you can gain from that. And the Page of Swords is trying to learn insight to make that be applied knowledge, okay? So that is what I have for you guys here for December 6th through 12th. I hope that you guys have a great week, and I will be back with another reading for you guys soon. All right, bye-bye.